Hey guys, it is your girl Miss Annie J, and I am back to talk to you guys about PMDD, where I'm at, what I've been doing, what's happening, answer a few questions that you guys have been asking me, and just get into it. So if you are new to my channel and you have not heard me speak about PMDD, PMDD is the abbreviation of premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So it is a severe and in many cases a debilitating version of PMS. So if you're somebody who has recently been diagnosed, or you are dealing with this and you just want some more insight from somebody who also deals with the condition, i.e. myself, then this video is definitely for you. So stay tuned and I am going to be right back.
See the new girl vibe, she in her stride, she goes side to side, she goes tap 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 tap. See the new girl vibe, she in her stride, she goes side to side.
Okay ladies, quick summary before I get into it about PMDD. What is PMDD? Why do we suffer from PMDD, a few of us, when the majority deal with PMS, and we are dealing with a more severe version? And if you are somebody who deals with PMS, you will know that that is also not a pleasant condition to deal with. PMDD, we have extra brain sensitivity to the changes in our hormones during the luteal phase of our menstrual cycle. So that period in between ovulation and when you actually come on a bleed is when PMDD would kick in, and that's when the changes in hormones happen and our brain sensitivity to those changes then kicks in, and we then feel like rubbish, we then overeat, we then feel depressed, we feel anxious, we feel sad, we feel tearful, we sometimes feel suicidal, we overeat, we may have physical symptoms as well, weight gain, extra tenderness in your chest. You might have like a condition like me. I've got a skin condition, eczema, which tends to flare up during my PMDD weeks. It is not a nice condition. It is as unpleasant as it sounds. So I know a lot of you have been following my channel because I do talk about this condition quite a bit. PMDD is actually the reason as to why I got my YouTube channel kicked off in the first place, because when I was dealing with PMDD at the point where it was really severe, it was bad, life was awful, I just did not know where to turn, I didn't have anyone that I could talk to. I at that point wished that I would have been able to find a channel similar to mine where somebody who experiences PMDD and knows what it is like to go through it would also share their experience, but then I could just get that information and meet someone on a common ground in that respect, somebody who knows what I'm dealing with. At the time when I discovered I had PMDD, which was probably well over 10 years ago, there wasn't really much available, so I was left to fend for myself. However, as a result of fending for myself and trying different things, that is what led me to be in a position to be able to share how I deal with and manage the condition effectively. And you guys will see from the last PMDD video that I posted a couple of weeks back, where I spoke about Tumeric Water, intermittent fasting, and I showed a clip of a diary entry that I had made years ago, probably about 7 years ago I want to say, and how PMDD looked for me compared to the way PMDD looks for me now. I am in such a much better place, ladies, and this is why I share so much the things that I do to help alleviate the symptoms of PMDD, because it is the symptoms that tend to get us down. It is the symptoms that stop us from living a fulfilled life. It is the symptoms that make us feel like we just want to crawl into a hole, hide and disappear forever. Those symptoms are what have led me to get to a point where I was able to do things to counteract those feelings in order to be able to live a more fulfilled life, to be able to pursue my dreams, to be able to do the things that I wanted to do, to see my friends, to go out, to see my family, to be sociable, because I was very unsociable for a long time because of the condition. So if any of this at all sounds like stuff that you have been going through, if you have been dealing with PMDD, there are so many of you who have reached out to me, sent a note to me, showing your appreciation for me doing these videos. Guys, I am so thankful for you reaching out. If you you are a woman who deals with PMDD, okay? Because I know that exact feeling when you feel like you are by yourself and nobody understands, nobody gets it. And truthfully, nobody can understand unless they deal with it themselves. The best we can do for other people who aren't familiar with the condition, who don't know what it's like, is to actually just explain it to them. But for those of us who deal with it at face-to-face value, it is something we go through. You know that the only people who can genuinely really understand and truly empathize are other women who deal with the exact same condition. And guys, that is why I am here, and that is the main reason for my YouTube platform. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. I wanted to give you guys an update as to how I've been getting on, where I'm at, and also answer a few of the questions that you guys have left me in the comments box on my previous PMDD videos. So let's just crack on with it. So firstly, I've still been doing the things that I have spoken about in my past videos. I'm a big advocate for intermittent fasting if you deal with PMDD and it is safe for you to do so. That is something that I would strongly suggest that you try if you never have before. Now, I am a full-time intermittent faster anyway. I fast generally every day up until at least about 2 p.m. The only thing that I will have before I start my day is decaffeinated tea with oat milk, a teaspoon of honey. I avoid sugar. That is the only thing that I will have when I wake up, and I won't have anything else until I break my fast in the afternoon. Now, when it comes to PMDD weeks, I extend my period of fasting, and my feelings are all over the place. And I mean, if you deal with it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those particular days, I will fast until at least 4 p.m. Sometimes I will stretch it to 5, maybe 6 p.m. But typically, I will break my fast around approximately 4 o'clock. So I would say between 4 and 6, but most of the time it is 4. The reason why I like intermittent fasting is because it really helps to counteract the cravings that we deal with as women who deal with PMDD. Even if you deal with PMS, right? You will know that once you get to that period of time in the month, you just all of a sudden have a really sweet tooth, or there's something particular that you really want to eat, or you might just eat a lot of different things, more than you would typically. And this is where, for me, intermittent fasting has really helped to discipline my appetite and the amount that I'm eating during that time, because I found that what would happen is I would be craving all of this rubbish food. I would eat the rubbish food, then I want more of the rubbish food, I eat more of the rubbish food, and by the time I'm done, I feel awful. I would already be feeling really bad. My emotions will be in complete upheaval. I feel negative, I'm stressed out, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm all of that. And then on top of that, I'm eating food that isn't going to benefit my emotional well-being and actually just adds to making me feel worse. It might feel good temporarily as I am eating it. As soon as I'm done, I would then just go into a massive slump and I feel horrible and I hate myself. And that is the reason why I decided that I'm going to intermittent fast on the days that I'm going through PMDD, because it minimizes your appetite, number one. Guys, I cannot big up intermittent fasting enough. I'm not going to go through it too much in this video, but if you missed my previous videos where I talk about intermittent fasting in more detail, definitely do check those out, okay? And I will provide links to my PMDD playlist at the end of this video. The other thing that I would definitely recommend, and I have spoken about this in a previous video, when it comes to the fatigue part of PMDD, okay? If you deal with the fatigue symptom, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You have absolutely no energy to do anything. You feel extremely tired. Doing any sort of physical activity, like you can do one heavy physical activity for the day and you feel like you are done. You also struggle to wake up. Like you just constantly want to sleep. That's how I feel. I just want to stay in bed. I'm constantly tired. I feel fatigued massively. I'm struggling to wake up. I'm struggling to keep awake. It is just a complete mess. If you are someone who deals with fatigue, one thing I would say that has massively helped me, and again, I have touched on this in my video talking about the fatigue symptom and PMDD, is being active. Now, I know that that sounds like it is a no-go, non-starter. I'm not even going to lie to you. But the last thing on your mind is thinking, I am going to get up and do a workout. But ladies, it makes such a big difference. The thing is, when you work out, the endorphins that your body releases boosts that feel-good factor. And guess what that does? It counteracts the negative feelings of the PMDD that you're dealing with. Listen, you guys heard me say it a while ago that I was moving home, etc, etc. I've done all of that now. And my next point of call was signing up for the gym. And I've been going consistently 4 times a week for a month and a half now. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. First thing in the morning before I start my day, before I start work. Health is wealth. And for those of us who deal with PMDD, even more so, health is wealth. It's so important for us to look after ourselves, because something like working out, it will benefit you and the symptoms that you are going through. It will alleviate them so dramatically to the point where you will feel like you're actually dealing with possibly PMS rather than PMDD. And trust me, PMS, for those of us who deal with PMDD, is like a walk in the park in comparison to the symptoms of PMDD. So if you are somebody who hasn't really been active, and I know, ladies, I know that it is tough. I know that it is very difficult to get up and do anything when you are going through PMDD, because the fatigue is so strong, so real. Honestly, I implore you, I suggest strongly, like I am encouraging you, if you can do something, get up, work up a little sweat. Ladies, I used to be the most sedentary person I know in this world. I did not do any type of physical activity for very many years of my life. I was always working behind the desk. During COVID, I was working from home. I was so inactive, it was disgraceful. So that did not help my PMDD. Being able to get to a position where I could be physical and start implementing physical activity, even on the days that I really don't feel like it. I will wake up in the morning and I'm just thinking to myself, I could really do with not going today because I just cannot. I'm tired. But guess what? I do not listen to that part of my brain. I'm getting up and I am going because I know the outcome of what I'm going to do and how it is going to affect me in a positive way and benefit me, so this condition doesn't beat me to the punch. Ladies, that is what we are going for. You want to get in there, look after yourself, and just get into some physical activity, work up that sweat, get those endorphins released, and it will make you feel so much better. I cannot stress it enough. I know it is tough. It is tough to take that first step, but trust me, I want to let you know that you are not by yourself. There is a community of us. If you see my PMDD videos, just look at some of the comments that women have left underneath. Yes, you might be there by yourself, but just remember that you are not actually alone in doing it. There are many of us, and it will benefit you so greatly. I cannot explain it enough. Until you do it and try it yourself, then you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention today, and thank God for mums, because my mum is the one that discovered the turmeric water for me. Turmeric water, okay, if you haven't heard me talk about this, please go and watch that video. I speak about turmeric water because it has such a major effect on how you're feeling, especially if you're somebody who deals with quite a lot of anxiety during your PMDD weeks. Turmeric water, you want to try that. So I'll pop the link for that video right, I can't remember which slide, maybe here. Have a click, save it and watch it later. I take that during my PMDD weeks, so that's another one. Turmeric water, amazing. Now the other one that I wanted to mention is, I hope you guys can see if I bring that to the close to the camera. This is castor oil. My mum gave me this one. Yep, literally, trust me, sometimes the best doctors are our mothers. So this is castor oil, 100% pure and cold pressed. Because my mum bought this, I don't actually know where she bought it from. So as I'm filming, I can't tell you exactly. However, I will find out from her and I will pop it in the description box below if you're interested. Now, the reason why I've mentioned castor oil is I did not realize that castor oil could be used for female hormonal conditions. Ladies, Google castor oil packs for PMDD. Put that in Google. Yes, castor oil packs for PMS, PMDD. You'll see what comes up. This stuff is actually pretty incredible. So this is how I apply this. So I apply this to my abdomen area directly, okay? You see it's got like a spray nozzle at the top. Spray it into my hand, all of that. Rub it on my uterus area. I rub it on my abdomen. And when I say to you that the symptoms just start to dissipate like they were never here, it is the most mind-blowing thing that I've used so far. The reason why I like to tell you guys about loads of different things that you can try when it comes to PMDD is because what works for one woman may not necessarily work for the next woman. So that's why I like to suggest quite a few different things. Things that I talk about are things that I have found have worked for me personally. So the castor oil amazing. Guys, I did not know about it. My mum is the one who bought it, and then she brought it home and said, Annie, I've read that this is good for female hormonal conditions, so why don't you try it? I'm so glad that she did, guys, and I cannot recommend this enough. It also is an anti-inflammatory, but literally when you put it on your abdomen area, it absorbs into your abdomen. That anti-inflammatory has a positive effect on whatever is happening down there. Listen, I don't know the science behind it specifically, but all I can say is that when I started using it, you can see it was filled up to the top at first. It's not so much now because my mum bought it for me like a month ago, and I was just using it every day during PMDD, and it has made such a big difference. So ladies, if you have never tried the castor oil, please try it. But now, if I provide a link to this, if I find where she got it from, and I happen to put it in the description box, I will make a note in the description box in case I do not find it. But if I do find it and there is a link in there, please note that it will be an affiliate link. So if you purchase something, I do get a bit of commission for it, so thank you in advance. But it might not be, because I don't always find links that are like commission like or affiliate links. Sometimes I will find it and just pop the link there anyway, because at the end of the day I just want it to be useful to somebody. If you do use the castor oil, please do let me know how you find it, because I, at this point, you know, sometimes you think, okay, is it my brain? You believe something, you will have it, right? So that's why I'm bringing it up. And, you know, if you haven't tried it and you would like to try it, please go ahead. And please do drop a comment and let the rest of us know how you find it, because I have found it to be very powerful. So this turmeric water, intermittent fasting, working out and going to the gym. Ladies, I know it sounds like a lot of things, because it is. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It is a lot of things, but when you deal with something like PMDD, you do have to stay on top of it to combat it, because this condition is not to be taken lightly. We then need to do serious things to counteract the symptoms that we go through. Now, some of you asked me a few questions, so I wanted to answer those before I finish up and conclude. Some of the questions that was asked. Someone asked me what I do to manage the cravings during the fasting period. Do I fast until a certain time? So yes, to manage the cravings, the intermittent fasting for me is the answer, because if I was to give in to the cravings, I would be eating breakfast, and I'm not a breakfast person. But during PMDD weeks, I can definitely become a breakfast person if I was to yield to the cravings. Now, because I do not yield to the cravings and I just continue fasting, the cravings that I'm having for these particular things, it minimizes. And by the time I eat in the evening, I am so past thinking about, oh, having this or having that. I do not actually want it anymore. And so it stops me from binging or eating stuff that I shouldn't be eating. Now, don't get me wrong, you may have one-offs where you will just reach for this or you reach for that and it's not particularly healthy. But I still have cheat days. I will have a cheat day once a week or once every 2 weeks. At the end of the day, we're human. If I say I'm just going to eat healthily for the rest of my life and never eat something bad a day in my life again, that would be a complete lie. But I do not do it anywhere near as much as I would if I just let my PMDD do what it wants to do to me. Intermittent fasting, it helps massively. Like I said, I fast until between 4 and 6 p.m. during my PMDD weeks specifically. The rest of my days outside of PMDD, I fast until 2 p.m. But PMDD days, I will carry on that fast until later in the day, and that is what quenches my cravings for certain foods that I definitely do not need to be eating, because guess what, the sugar and all of that, it just makes our symptoms worse. So it is best to avoid it if you can. Okay, then another question someone asked me is, how do you handle it when you're not consistent? So if you end up breaking your fast early, I'll use that as an example. Girl, it don't matter. I will carry on the following day as if nothing happened. One thing I'm not going to do is think about the fact that I have messed up and eaten something that I shouldn't have eaten, or eaten too much of something, because as soon as you do that, you get yourself into a negative headspace, start to ponder over it, you over catastrophize it, and you make yourself feel worse. And that is what you're trying to avoid. So if you do have a day where you eat something you know you should typically avoid, don't worry about it. Remember, you are human. Remember the goal ahead and to look after yourself. So if you've had a day where things have gone a little bit to the left and haven't been how you would have preferred, then from the following day, you resume as normal. I just carry on as if nothing happened and I am back in the swing of things immediately. Tomorrow, we're back on track. I know I fast but I do not overeat, guys. Someone made a comment about eating less and having calorie deficit and they feel more energetic. And I absolutely agree with that because I am the same. If I eat the recommended amount of calories for women for the day, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, but I don't feel great, especially during PMDD weeks. I'm not saying like starve yourself, not by any means. Still eat nutritious, healthy food. You can get so many delicious recipes that are healthy. You can Google this stuff now. People show you on YouTube how to make these things. You can eat a really nutritious and filling meal that isn't going to have half the nonsense in it that you would get in processed foods, and it would actually be of benefit to you. So that is the way that I eat. It's just literally about looking out for yourself, because what you don't want is to eat the wrong things and it overwhelms you and then you feel bad about yourself. Okay, ladies, I hope that you have found this helpful. You guys know already I am so passionate about sharing all these things in regards to PMDD because of how disruptive and destructive it can be to a woman's life. And if you are somebody who is dealing with it, just know that you are not by yourself, okay? And that is why I'm always going to keep doing these videos periodically on my channel, because I just want to reach out to those of you who feel like there's not anyone that you can speak to, you can turn to, or you can get advice from. Don't get me wrong, we appreciate and love our doctors and what have you, but they don't deal with it, especially as this condition is quite new. It's not as well researched as something like PMS, for example. So it is easy to feel like you're by yourself and no one gets it. So that is why I like to do these videos. So I do hope that you find them useful. I appreciate you watching and sticking around. If there are any comments or questions that you have off the back of this particular video, please do drop them in the comment box below. And whilst you're here, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, I've got so much love for you guys. And if you are new to my channel, what are you waiting for? Guys, it's your girl, Miss Annie J. I will be back to speak on PMDD again in a few weeks' time. But until then, please do make sure that you are looking after yourself. And I will see you guys again soon. Take care. Bye.
Feeling on the melody, I'ma be your remedy. No time for the jealousy, this is just a gift to me. Sun is shining down on me, making juice so readily. Like tap, 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 tap. I'm a big bad D, shaking down the house on a rhythmic street.